Elizabeth Vargas is a NewsNation contributor and host of the syndicated true crime series iCrime. She joins us right now. Elizabeth, always good to have you here. We know that it's been more than 2 weeks since these students were stabbed to death. The neighbor, as we heard in Kelsey's piece, wanting to clear his name by taking a DNA test. But how soon could forensics get back the suspect's DNA?
Well, that's assuming they found any DNA at the crime scene, Adrienne. At this point, they removed the cars to process them for any sort of forensic evidence. I'm a little surprised it took them, more than 2 weeks to do that. As I said when I was on the last time with you, that Thanksgiving break and allowing everybody, to leave town, potential witnesses to leave town, potential suspects to leave town, really sort of set things back a bit. They're still trying to piece together what 2 of the 4 victims were doing the night of the murders. And they need to do that by interviewing all these kids who've just come back this week for Thanksgiving break and who are understandably rattled by the fact that there is no information. It is a really baffling crime. They keep saying this was a targeted murder, but who was the target? One of the 4? All 4? Why were all 4 murdered? Why were 2 left sleeping in the ground floor unharmed? There are lots of questions in this.
Yeah, I'm just puzzled by those 2 roommates not hearing a thing. I mean, you have to wonder what the method was to keep that so quiet, even if they were in a deep sleep. But there's this theory from some psychologists that this could be a case of an incel, which was a new term for me, an involuntary celibate, a young man who kills attractive, sexually active people as really a hostile, jealous rage. Have you heard about this?
I have heard about this here, and there are people who do this, who are frustrated young men, angry that women are not giving them the attention they feel they want and feel they deserve. Most of those men tend to be suicidal as opposed to homicidal, but those men obviously have a lot of anger, and this crime shows an inordinate amount of rage. The act of killing not 1 but 4 people up close and personal like that is extremely brutal. But again, the question, all 3 women, why the boyfriend of one of the women as well? They weren't all in the same room. So they had to go, the killer, from room to room to room. They had to get into the house by using a code that they needed to know to get into the house. Maybe they didn't know there were 2 more victims, potential victims, the roommates who were sleeping in the ground floor bedroom. But there are so many questions. It reminds me a lot, Adrienne, of when I covered the JonBenet Ramsey case, many decades ago, a case that is still cold, still unsolved. That case, nobody could figure out the why. Why would somebody break into a house on Christmas night, murder a little girl, leave her in the basement the way they did? None of those things added up. And to this day, investigators have not been able to answer the why or the who in that case.
Do you think this could become a cold case?
It could. It could, and it certainly is on track to do so. I mean, there might be a break. They might find some DNA that might, you can't just find DNA. It has to match somebody. So it has to be in a data bank. Of convicted criminals, or through one of these websites where you can find maybe a relative of somebody who's contacted 23andMe. But you don't just you have to find the DNA at the crime scene, and it's almost incomprehensible that the killer didn't leave something. But then you have to match it to somebody, Adrienne, and that's a huge thing.
Yeah, and it's in a small community like Moscow, Idaho. I'm sure the police, the sheriffs are just inundated.
Well,
with
they haven't
work.
had a homicide there in 7 years. And they are getting a lot of help from the FBI, but I can't help but wonder if the shock of 4 homicides in one night with a small town police force that hasn't had a murder in 7 years over a holiday weekend when the town clears out, but with frightened, terrified kids who want to just get home, all of whom may include potential witnesses.
Yeah, just a shocking situation. Thank you, Elizabeth, for being with us.
Sure.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.